Hi, this is Dan. Thank you for clicking on my video. I want to talk about something I discovered a couple of years ago. At least it was something new to me anyway. I haven't seen any other videos about it, so I thought I'd post one. The idea came up when I was looking at the clock system. The clock system, if you're not familiar, is where you have an object ball at the intersection of the first two diamonds, and the cue ball offset by a ball's width in this direction. If you hit with, say, 11 o'clock on the cue ball, which is a slight inside English, the cue ball is going to rebound to the first diamond to the right side of the side pocket here. If you hit a straight follow shot, it's going to scratch. If you hit with a 1 o'clock English, it's going to go to this diamond, 2 o'clock to this diamond, and so on. The problem is if the object ball is not right at that spot, then that kind of all goes out the window. So I got curious what happens when you move this object ball around a bit. And I found something interesting that formed the basis of what I'm going to talk about here. So first I'm going to show you what the idea is. Then I'm going to show you some simulations in Virtual Pool that it actually does work. And then I'm going to show you some real life, real table situations, how you can apply it. So the first part of the system is that you have to have your object ball somewhere along this line, and it can go anywhere from about a half a diamond. Oops. If your object ball is anywhere between about a half a diamond and I'm going to say about 2 diamonds, this is going to work. You could actually be more than 2 diamonds up, but it's such an extreme cut shot that it's not very practical. So you need to have your cue ball offset by a ball's diameter in this direction. Make the cut shot. And what this will do is, as long as your ball is anywhere on this line, cue ball is going to scratch, or it's going to come very close to one of the 2 points. So that forms the first part of this system. The second part is what happens when the object ball is on the second line. And I'm going to show you that next. So now we've moved the object ball from the first diamond to the second diamond along this line here. So if we set up the same shot with the cue ball offset by 1 ball diameter, pocket the shot, the cue ball will rebound and come up to about a diamond and a half. It generally either approaches the diamond and a half or it comes across from the diamond and a half, but it's right in that vicinity. This will work for object balls that are anywhere between a little bit above the first diamond this way to about as high as you can go, which is about the second diamond, third diamond, I'm sorry. So that'll work anywhere along that line. Of course, the cue ball has to be in that same spot. So let's look at where we're at now. So on the situation where your object ball is on the first line, this system works between here and here. And on the second line, it works between there and there. So if we just draw a box, it looks about, like that. So now what we've done is we've set maximum and minimum rebound angles. The minimum is scratch shot. The maximum is a diamond and a half. So anywhere inside this box where your object ball lies, you can estimate where the cue ball will end up, and it's going to be somewhere between these 2 lines. So for instance, if we just pick a random spot, right, say here, that's our object ball. What do? Well, you notice that you're halfway between the first 2 diamonds. Now you have to assume from the moment that your cue ball is offset by a ball diameter. And actually a lot of times this is going to be the case, because if it wasn't somewhere in that vicinity, you wouldn't be shooting the shot anyway. If the cue ball was extreme this way or extreme that way, it'd be a totally different thing. So if the cue ball is offset by a ball diameter and your object ball is halfway between the 2 diamonds, what's going to happen? Well, the cue ball is going to rebound and end up halfway between these 2 markers. So it's going to end up right there at about 3/4 of a diamond. And that works no matter where you are. If you're up here very close to the second line, second diamond, you're very close to that line, you know you're going to be very close to that line. So you're probably going to rebound just shy of the first diamond on this side. Let me clear this screen off. Okay, so that's the basic idea. You could say, well, what happens if the cue ball is lined up right in line with the ball, or instead of being offset by one ball, it's offset by two balls? Well, it actually still works pretty well. If you're lined up right along the line of the ball, your shots end up about a half a diamond wide, plus or minus, sometimes closer, sometimes a little more, but about a half a diamond wide of where they would go otherwise. So if you're on this shot and you're lined up straight on here, straight along this line, instead of a diamond and a half, you'd be around 2 diamonds. And it also depends on how close you are at that point between the cue ball and the object ball. So if you're the other way, if you're a little too steep or too straight in, instead of a diamond and a half, you'll be closer to a diamond, maybe 3/4 of a diamond. So it's pretty flexible, actually. Now I play mostly straight pool, and this is extremely useful in straight pool, and I'll show you that later in the video. But right now, I'm going to show you 6 quick shots. It's going to be 3 along the first line and 3 along the second line on virtual pool that shows you that it actually does work. I want to show a couple of examples of this method. If you recall, if the object ball is on the first diamond, it's a scratch shot. If it's on the second diamond, it's going to go to about a diamond and a half, represented by the chalk. It's a 2-step process, which I'll illustrate in this first shot. Set 2 balls up. I want to pocket the one ball in the corner pocket, and I want to get close position, avoiding the scratch. So step 1 is, where's my object ball relative to the diamonds? In this case, it's pretty much halfway in between the 2 diamonds, which means the cue ball wants to go halfway between these 2 positions, which is here. That's perfect. The cue ball is a little bit more straight in than the tangent line, so it's going to want to move it a little bit in this direction, but not much. I could put a hair of outside English on it just to keep it there, but I don't think I really need it, so I'm just going to shoot it. Okay, next example is a similar shot in the other direction. Let's say maybe I've got a blocking ball that prevents me from going, putting the cue ball out here. I need to put the cue ball in here. If I have 2 balls like this, again, let's say my object ball is on the first diamond, so that means it's a scratch shot, but my cue ball is at a more straight in angle by quite a bit, so that's going to move it over here more. So I probably don't have to do anything, but I'm going to put a little inside English just to kill the speed. It might bring me a little closer to the 1, but I know I'm not going to scratch. I know I'm not going to hit the 2 ball. I'm going to have a shot on the 1. Okay, another shot. Well, you know what, that reminds me of something. So I had a straight pool game I was playing. I had a break ball here, and I had balls set up like this. And about it. I had a ball here. I couldn't, the only pocket I could get it to go was cue ball in this corner pocket. So I had to try to get the cue ball to come as close to the 2 as possible without hitting it. So in this case, object ball is closer to the first diamond than the second. Whoops. Closer to the first diamond, so that's right around here. And I'm just off the tangent line. So the cue ball wants to come right around here, which is way too wide. I needed to come over here. So I can either decide at that point, well, it's too tricky, or it's something I can do. I think I can do it with a pretty good amount of inside English. A little too close. Try that one more time. I'm on the first diamond. It's a scratch. I'm a little bit straighter end than the tangent line, which puts it right here. So I need a little bit of inside once again. Okay, that's not too bad. I can make that work. Okay, breaking clusters. Something like this. If I want to break these 2 balls up, again, touch closer to the first diamond than the second diamond, puts me here. Cue ball is a little, well, the cue ball is right on the tangent line, so cue ball wants to come here. Cue ball is going to come right about here on this rail, over to here. What did I say? So it should hit the 2 ball. I'm going to put a touch of inside because I think it might miss the 2, so I'm going to give it a touch of inside. Okay. Another shot, sort of more real world situation, is got a bunch of balls. Maybe you got a little bit of traffic over here. You got a ball. And let's say okay, so you got a situation in a straight pull game like this. Maybe I've got another ball here. You can use this just to evaluate options. So let's say I want to shoot this ball. I know there might be better choices here, but for the sake of argument, the 12 ball is close to the 1 diamond line, which is puts the cue ball right here. But the cue ball is at a more straight in angle than the tangent line. So that moves it up. It's pretty close to a scratch shot. I could use some inside English and thread the needle here if I wanted to shoot the 1 or the 2 or the 13. But it's a lot of traffic to get in. It might be a better option. Just shoot the 11 ball. Some outside English. I clear all that congestion and I know I'm going to have a shot. I got plenty of margin for error. I don't have to try something too tricky. So just shoot this. Again, it wants to go probably a scratch shot. So I'm just going to use a little outside English. Still pretty close to a scratch shot. Let me do it where I'm not shooting over a ball. Okay, close to the first diamond, but I'm really shallow, really straight in on it, so I'm over here. So again, I need some outside English. So the more you use this method, the more you'll see it comes up almost every rack and straight pull. So play around with it and see if it helps you out. I hope it does.